Good morning, Magic Internet friends. Thank you for stopping by for this episode of Illuvitalks, the intersection of crypto, gaming, and current events. As always, we have an incredible discussion on deck, and if you would like to join us in future Illuvitalks episodes, please reach out. Where do we
Yeah,
go?
hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the stream here. Welcome to the Illuvitalks. Hello, San Diego out there. Just kidding, Anchorman pun. But we got somebody coming up on stage here. We got a couple special guests. And can you hear me good, Maxim, by the way? Just want to make sure we got the audio good.
Yeah, I hear you pretty well. Am I back now?
Yeah, you're back. You're back. I can hear you.
Awesome, awesome. Just really quick, just wanted to get a little introduction in to make the show professional. For those that are just joining us for the first time, Illuvitalks is a weekly Twitter Spaces hosted by our own Kyle Wilson, with unique guests from the crypto space. We discuss a pretty broad range of topics, including, but not limited to, the current state of crypto, future of gaming, and noteworthy events with feedback from our incredible guests. And also, I just genuinely want to thank everyone that has been following Illuvium for a while and all the newcomers. I put up that post yesterday. I'm on the social media accounts all day, and I see all the love pouring in, and I just want to say it doesn't go unnoticed. We see everything, your comments, time, and energy. Extremely motivating to help us just keep building. So shout out to everyone in the entire Illuvium DAO, from the UX designers, UI designers, the guilds, the co-founders, and everyone working to make this project a success. It's just deeply appreciated. To all the new listeners that will be joining us, feel free to check us out, follow our official links on socials, as well as join the Discord if you want to know more. And it goes without saying, if you are not already, definitely check out our incredible guests, and we will definitely have some very interesting topics covered today. So, with that, I'm going to stop talking and pass it on to Kyle.
Thanks, Max, for that amazing
Oh,
introduction. Can
here
you
we go again.
can you hear me?
Rugs again. All right, we're back.
We're back though. We're back, right? You can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, Twitter is an amazing platform. So
Double rug.
you'll just have to bear with Elon Musk. We're just gonna blame Elon. Just totally kidding there. But yeah, we have Bryson here on the stage. We're also gonna invite up someone else as well, Black Paris as well. I'm gonna send a
Hey
request
guys.
here.
Hi.
And
Hey guys.
hey, how's it going? Okay, making sure everybody's on stage. Welcome to Illuvitalks, and today we're going to talk a little bit about gaming in the NFT space, obviously crypto gaming, and metaverse fashion. So I hope you guys are ready and excited to get this topic started. But without further ado, man, Bryson, could you just give a little introduction and tell yourself about the listeners about you? And I heard you signed, or you signed something, or could you kind of go into detail about that?
Yeah, first I want to say thank you guys for having me. The Illuvium fam has been great since the first time I ran into the game. The first chat me and Kieran had like 6, 7 months ago. Everybody's been super copacetic, so it's been a good vibe to be a part of the community. Streaming the game, playing the game, everything in between. For those who aren't familiar with me, I am an NFT gaming content creator. Found the Web3 space about a year ago, and then from there, I've just been focused on making NFT gaming content. Uh, Expanded, launched a guild back in, I think it was May of last year, alongside some co-founders. We raised about $5 million with Delphi Digital and some other really cool funds in the space. And since then, it recent announcement that I signed with Gary V's Vayner Sports. So, they represent me from a media management marketing standpoint, and they're really helping shape an initiative where we're pushing Web3 forward in the gaming category for people who are, from non-endemic audiences to Web3. So looking to onboard more people here in the United States and Europe and in places where, that information may not be as privy, especially in communities that are more minority audiences, and getting them more aligned with, the financial intelligence side of cryptocurrency and Web3, being able to really shape and pattern the life that they want to live. And doing that through gaming, because gaming is like a really great connector and onboarder, just like fashion is. So it's a pleasure to be on stage with you, Kyle, the Illuvium fam, Kodash, Black Paris. Very familiar with the dope shit you guys been doing in the fashion space for a long time. So definitely thankful to be on here and talking about some of my loves: gaming, fashion, music, everything in between. So yeah, I'm excited to chat with you guys.
Man, that's incredible, and I'm super excited for you and your future here in the space. And yeah, what an incredible journey! And like I said, I'm excited for you there. So yeah, like coming from the Native American side too, that's like part of my culture growing up. So I totally understand, and that's such an inspiring, chapter of your story. So but yeah, we got Black Paris here as well. We got FOMO Boy, one of the co-founders and advisors to Black Paris, and Black Paris, of course, as well. Yeah, if you guys want to kind of give yourself a short introduction to maybe some of the newer listeners out there that might be listening to this on Twitter or a podcast, could you give yourself a little introduction about, Black Paris and how you guys got involved in the NFT space?
Yeah, of course. So thank you for hosting us today. So I'm Julian. I'm the founder and the designer behind the Black Paris brand. So I'm going to give you a little background of Black Paris and how I came to build this brand. So I was actually known as like a concept designer, something like 6 years ago. So I was known for having like this kind of minimalistic and monochrome like a style, on what I've been designing. So it was always like black and white when I started. And then I started to do a first collaboration with Starbucks, marketing collaboration, when I did like, this regular like white with the green logo paper cup from Starbucks. So I made it like matte black with like a special vibe in a certain scene, And then it went totally viral. So I started to work with other brands. So I did with Coca-Cola, with McDonald's. So like very mainstream brands, that you used to see, like for example, the Coke can red. So I did like all matte black with that kind of look, etc. So that's how I started to get recognition 6 years ago. And then 5 years ago, I launched Black Paris. So at the time, it was more like a conceptual brand when we've been doing like a lot of concept testing, etc. And it actually grew from the socials, from internet. So I was really like testing concept, asking feedback. So it's really like a community driven brand, in that way. And it's as well like a lifestyle brand, as we put it everywhere on the socials. And by lifestyle, we mean that we don't people that come to Black, they don't come just to buy like a jean or a shirt. They come because of the all black everything lifestyle, this kind of aesthetic that is very our own. So we started with some accessories to black out your accessories, your laptop, some skins for the laptop, some tumbler, some cards game, kind of product that you don't usually see black on black usually. And then we introduced our clothing line in a collaboration with Hugo Boss that we did 4 years ago. And from that point, we started to grow the range of products that we've been doing. So we've been doing like Airbnb, like all black, when you can actually live the black lifestyle. We are working on the black fast food, when you can taste some black food. So it really comes to a lot of different aspects. So we've been very like digital brand native. So we've been releasing like presets, icons for your iPhone application, when you can have like all the black emojis, And then we started to grow more in the digital, but more in the crypto. We accept the cryptocurrency since 3 years now. And then we jump into the NFT. So 1.5 years ago, we did. So I did three drop on Maker's Place. So a series called the Dark Mode series that introduced a bit the black lifestyle, the black branding. It was like an introduction to the NFT space. But it's good to know that I've been doing all the 3D, the design myself. I'm very passionate about this, about black, about the design in general, you know. And I really learned the 3D for like 2-3 years now. And then I've been able to actually do my own art and release it as part of the Dark Mode series. And that's what like more of an introduction of black. And then we expanded to finish on that. We expanded physically, you know, to have like since it's like community driven, it's like reassuring for the customers to have a kind of store, you know, in their country. So now we opened 15 store this in 1 year and a half. And when I started the NFT, actually, that's when I met FOMO Boys, so Thomas here, that I will let him introduce himself.
Hey guys, so thanks for that. So yeah, basically I'm Thomas. So I've been in the crypto space since 2016, I think. NFT a year and a half, I would say, as an investor first, and then started to work on some projects. And I've met Julian. We've worked on the first drop on Maker's Place, and then like we started to build basically Black Genesis for the past 5 months, I would say. 5 or 6 months. So yeah, that's it. I'm the strategic advisor, and I work also with my team on the project since the really beginning, and even before.
Awesome. Thank you for those introductions and for the history for Black Paris. And Julian, just out of curiosity, how many like locations do you guys have, physical locations?
So our community is very it's located in Asia and the US mostly. So we have stores in Tokyo, Osaka in Japan. So Japan is one of our biggest markets. Taiwan is as well one of the biggest Taiwan market. We have in Taipei, Taichung, and New Taipei City, and we are opening as actually the digital store there. So we are going to introduce a bit the Black Genesis experience. We are going to do some education, you know, for the how to get this black membership that we are providing via OpenSea or whatever, you know. So there is this one, and we have as well a store in Miami. We're opening in New York, and Macau and Hong Kong. We did open last year there, and now we are going to the Emirates as well. We are going to Dubai. We're going to Kuwait, and Europe is going to be more for 2023. So next year.
So it's like 14 total, right?
Yeah. Now the store that we are opening it's the 14th, but we just signed for a 15th one in Japan actually.
Amazing.
That's fire. Especially if you're doing something in Miami, my ass is gonna be there because I think you guys make some dope stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super exciting. And yeah, like Bryson said, man, if it's in Miami, I might swing through for sure. And as a matter of fact, are you guys going to be at Permissionless just around the corner?
Where, sorry?
It's the Permissionless in Miami. It's I believe it starts May 17th and through the 19th.
Oh, I didn't even hear about this event. Honestly, I was thinking to go to the NFT NYC, but for this
Oh,
one,
yeah.
I didn't hear about it. I mean, we're all focused on Black so much that, like, honestly, I just miss like all new projects, all new events, and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no doubt, and it's no worries. And you guys actually have like literally a mint just around the corner, as a matter of fact, as well. It's like May 6th, is that right?
Yeah,
It's
this
Friday.
Friday, exactly. So we've been working very hard on it, and now like maybe you don't hear it, but I'm exhausted to my voice, so we barely sleep right now. But making sure that everything is okay, we did a very good point on the security, and we did some. Now we are like making the second audit with Certic, and everything is going well.
Yeah, that's cool. And I saw that on your website, you know, you have the utilities and that's pretty exciting as well. Just because it looks like you're going to offer some utility to your physical locations. Is that correct?
Yeah, so actually, if you want to, you can see this as like a kind of black membership, black pass, you know, when we want to actually bridge the Web 2 and the Web 3 together. So I came to this point because we were like working on some membership, because we have like a lot of customers that they like the all black everything, so they like to have a room all black, and they collect this. So we have like a very engaged community. So inside the store, when people came, they wanted to know about the membership, when it's coming, because we were working on some kind of membership to grant like reduction, access to early drop, exclusive limited product and stuff like this, and access to the events as well, because we do like a lot of events. We did like a fashion show in Japan 4 months ago. We did like a New Year party in Taiwan as well, and some food degustation, some kind of event like this. So then when we were working like on the membership, and we were actually at the same time thinking about how to introduce ourselves in the Web3, I was thinking that actually link the NFT directly to the core of the business, to the core of the brand, to the customers, so that your membership is actually like NFT that has like all the benefits of the NFTs. You can trade it, you can identify it, you can the traceability, I mean everything. And then we can bridge the Web2 and the Web3 together, because we want to bring more people from our customer base, into the NFT with this project, as well as new, because we worked a lot with Web3 project. We did like a big introduction, because to really get like a proper introduction in the Web3 space. So basically, that's what we want to do with this. And the utility, so it's digital. So there is first part, like all the classic benefits from membership, but there is on top of that all the digital aspects that come on top of this. So for example, for this drop, there are going to be like a lot of threads that are like products that have been designing exclusively for the Black Genesis collection that are numbered. So according to the NFT that you get, if you get a special thread, you can claim the product that goes with the NFT. So that's like a first step to the digital. Then we've been building a digital store that we posted on Twitter actually last week, and we are going to post more videos on it. It just finished, and there is the first event of the Black Genesis that is going to come in early May. I'm not sure if you announced the date yet, but that's yet another aspect of the digital that is going to be released.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting, and I it's good to see like obviously Web3 and the merge of fashion, how it can be integrated not only on the obviously the digital side or the physical side into the digital side. So I love what you guys are doing and like basically filling a gap right now in the space. We're seeing kind of the rise of fashion right now as well. And what I love about your brand is like it is that kind of lifestyle brand, which is for me is exciting because I see a lot of people in the Web3 space and there's not really like a cool style. So when I look at your brand and the lifestyle around it, I think it's really cool and it offers like something unique in the space, which I think you guys are doing like one of the best jobs versus, other brands out there. So hats off to you guys for doing what
Thanks
you're
so much.
doing.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
As you said, it's like as you saw, like with the past collaboration that we did, and that we did, it's always like we can put black on something, we can incorporate the branding on something else. We just will make it look like cool, this kind of vibe and all black everything. But it's not something that we do in the opposite way. So if you saw all the collaboration that we posted and that we did, it was always this kind of we black out something. It goes even beyond the traditional just fashion of clothes. It can. I mean, we can do like a collaboration with IKEA and looks cool because it's gonna be different and another style. So that's a bit the aesthetic that you want to apply on the meta and on the Web3 space. And we did that, for example, with an example with Decentraland when we did Dark Mode 2, because we have good contacts in Decentraland. They are a very cool team there. They did black out a huge parcel of their like all the museum and all this field, a big plot. They did like during the drop, they black out everything. So it's kind of a visual collaboration that we did with them, for a start.
Yeah, absolutely. What you guys are doing is like a pretty amazing. Like I've always been a fan of just blacking out everything. So like for me, it's like a perfect fit. But Bryson, I want to get back to you, man. What's your thoughts? Like, how did you get into fashion? I've been seeing you look pretty swaggy lately. What inspired you to, get into fashion, and what was your kind of uh, you know, inspiration when you kind of got started doing what you're doing as well?
Yeah, so actually, my inspiration, his name's Herm Ivy. He's in the audience right now listening. But I've been into fashion, since I was early high school, like ninth, 10th grade. Where you don't really have the money, but you're going out and going to sneaker campouts and flipping kicks so you can buy a fresh pair of sneakers. And when it first started off, it was, I had made enough money by doing like summer chores and stuff to buy a really expensive pair of sneakers. They're called the Year of the Rabbit Air Jordan 7s. They launched like, I think it was like over 10 years ago. And I get to this sneaker camp out, and this guy, Herm the Fourth, or Herm IV, he's there. He has on these two exclusive pairs of Air Jordans. On one foot, he has a pair of Air Jordan Bin 7s, like the Miro Olympic, and the other foot, he has a Miro Olympics. So he has like probably like at the equivalent now to like 3-4 ETH on his feet at the time with different sneakers. He's at the front of the line. So I go up and I fanboy, and I don't get the sneakers that day. Herm does, but I use all of my money there, and Herm gives and buy a pair of Air Jordan infrared sixes, the OG ones from like the 90s, from Herm. And that started this crazy, friendship where he was teaching me about fashion and mentoring me. And this is well before Web3. And then, just in learning more, and by the time I got to Web3, I had my own money. I could start buying fits. But a lot of what fashion is, and a lot of what it's kind of how it's perceived in Web3 today, is more so, oh well, we have this lifestyle brand, and we're launching an NFT. But people don't really go deeper into the significance and the relevance. A lot of fashion is just in who you are, and not really in how you wear something that looks like somebody else, but how you exude confidence. That's like the origin of fashion, in my opinion. It's the confidence, because someone's going to look at that confidence and say, yo, I want to wear that fit because, ASAP Rocky's rocking, an exclusive fit at the Met, or like Gunna did the other day where he rocked a Ledger at the Met Gala. Like, that's a different style of like, going out on your own and doing things that are revolutionary. And, a lot of people don't understand, like, that's how fashion is really brought up. It's somebody looking at something that is completely different against the grain from what everybody else is doing, and then saying this is up next and making plays to make that happen. And you see the same thing with Black Paris. You know what I'm saying? You don't really see a lot of people, especially in Miami, that are just pulling up in matte black or all black. When I think of matte black and all black, I think of like a 911 Turbo S that's all blacked out, and you're driving through Nuremberg, Germany, and something like that. Like, that's the kind of vibes that I get, and that's what you feel when you see kind of what the Black Paris team is doing. So in terms of like my background in fashion, a lot of it just came from me really enjoying seeing other people wearing certain things and then putting my own little spin on it. But of course, a lot of fashion is also still, yo, this person is dope. Let me, incorporate some of his ideologies in my own style. So I've been a huge fashion lover, but back before even the gaming stuff. But I do think the space is very new, and there's going to be so many brands that have the opportunity to make really big plays in fashion. So I think where fashion is and the intersection that it could have in gaming could be otherworldly. One, because of the metaverse perspective, but it's even bigger than just the idea of wearing, some digital merch. It's the whole concept of so many people love streetwear and fashion and Web2 culture, and their first opportunity or first experience may be a byproduct of buying, a black t-shirt, or putting on some type of collaboration that is like kind of cognizant or, representative of the things that they love doing. So I think when you're moving in fashion and Web3, a lot of it is understanding that to get people from Web2 to jump in, you really do have to continue building and iterating on, traditional standards, and creating your own spin on things and making those right collaborations and connections to truly tell a story.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's deep. And that the very last thing you said is telling a story. I love that. I mean, just the best brands in the world, I feel like tell the best stories, obviously with like traditional brands, like with like Disney, where they're kind of notable for telling stories, and Marvel. Well, you get into fashion and that's the same thing. And I love what you said is like putting your own twist on it, because I feel like that's so like merging well with the NFT space still. Even, we're in the still early days, but you see, influencers and people like that putting their own spin on things, and I just love to see it. And I feel like with Black Paris, how they put a spin on, putting everything black, but even more so, like if you check out their work and what they're doing, it's not just, hey, we're putting black on it. No, it's they actually make everything so unique and put an amazing spin on it and a minimalist look. And like they said, it's like that lifestyle brand. So anyways, yeah, Julian, where do you see where gaming and fashion like merge together? What do you see like the vision and the possibilities there?
Yeah. So, sorry. Yes, I'm here. So yes, I wanted just to rebound of when Bryson just said. It was very nice. I really enjoyed it. It's really sorry, I'm just moving around here. It's just that here what we try to do with Black Paris actually it was to really like put everything black, but not just put everything black and have it like that. It's more about all the marketing that goes behind it, all the thoughts that goes behind it. For example, we started with the all black everything. Okay, but it can look a bit like all black and white. It can look a bit like maybe gothic, So we had to incorporate a storyline behind it. So some romantic vibe with some black roses, so a lot of elements that makes it look what it is today. And they took actually 5 years, like to build the brand and to expand on it and to actually provide this Black Genesis collection by like incorporating everything that we worked on. So just your question now, it was about the gaming and the fashion industry.
Yeah, where do you see like, the way fashion is now, like do you see that merging into the gaming space as well? Like obviously with Web3 just kind of booming, taking off, like I'm seeing opportunities. I
Yeah,
see,
definitely.
you guys doing collaborations. What do you see the future for like gaming and fashion merging? Do you see that as a possibility, and where do you see that
Yeah, for
long
sure.
run?
It's already happening. It's just not linked directly right now in the Web3, but you can see in a lot of games when you can buy skins, like a Fortnite, the most famous one that you can think of, And there is like a lot of other games when they implement some kind of skins, and this is already something that is in place. And fashion again is very subjective. It could be, for example, a racing game, and then you just like design some car and some stuff like this. So it's still fashion. So definitely now in the space, it's everything is very new. Everything is moving. People are building their metaverse. We don't have yet really like one big player that we use them. Everyone is using their metaverse, etc. So yes, for now, it's something that's really like in development. It's something that we can see like a lot of projects coming, a lot of new players. But this is definitely something that we want to bridge. So just to tell you, we are discussing with actually two very very big players in the game industry to take them on board, and this is something that is going to be announced alongside the months following the mint. And we want actually to really bring some of the gaming experience into the black, the black way. So that's what I'm saying as well when we say that we don't only we are not looking to do collaboration with only like fashion brands and to do like some just clothing. We want to have like a bigger picture of it and to be able to collaborate with Web2 established brands, but Web3 project as well, in a way that we can bridge the two.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity there. And like you said, with Fortnite, I feel like we've seen like music, especially integrated very well in Web 2, and then really moving into Web 3 with different, you have gala music in all of that. And so I feel like fashion is kind of the next big boom, if you will. And, I don't know if you've seen actually Blanco's Block Party, but they've actually integrated some fashion brands into that game as well. So I love that Fortnite example. Bryson, do you have kind of a similar view to that? Or what's your thoughts on what the possibilities in future could be when it comes to fashion and gaming?
Yeah, I think that like collaborations between games where it makes sense and fashion brands should happen. I just think that, at the very core, it definitely needs to be done in a culturally endemic way. Because I mean, for a lot of the Web3 games, outside of Illuvium and, some others, yeah, I can see where it makes sense and like there's validity. But, in a lot of spaces, a lot of these games are super early. And even if you did provide a fashion collab to some of them, they don't have uh, the, the amount of audience that you could use to leverage to reach new audiences and bring newcomers into the space. Because at the end of the day, if you look at it from a Web3 perspective, we all have an incredible amount of market share in Web3, and that probably will never be the issue at this point. But the idea is, how do you expand that market share into Web2 and then do it in a way that is educational and it also has insane amount of flavor to it. And I think that's where like a lot of people get it wrong. There's like, oh well, I'll just drop this and that. Not like, I think like a lot of these rollouts should have a deep sense of depth behind them and understanding, and try to really shape the conversation forward in a way that is creating the next generation of Web3 participants, whether it's in fashion or gaming or some other area. So I think that those collaborations do make sense. And to the black team's point, like you gotta really focus on how you touch more than just fashion related brands, and collaborate in spaces where others aren't even looking, because that's where the perception comes in of how you create that next level of fashion. But I think the gaming bridge is interesting because like you said, you've seen things like Fortnite where Travis Scott is performing and all these cool things, and people like that, people love it, people embrace it. And the same thing will happen in Web3 when those collaborations start happening. Like who's to say that there couldn't be a really cool culturally endemic collab that is like, X fashion brand and gamer and also video game. And then you bring in somebody like, a Ledger, and it's like, okay, we're going to do a collab that is based around fashion, but we're going to have something like, if you buy this piece of clothing, you're getting like information regarding how to onboard into crypto and set up your ledger, like actually educating people that have no clue about the space. Because the biggest issue is people feel there is a lack of transparency, and everyone, in Web2 sees it as a scam. We're in an age where short form content wins. People read less. They're less likely to see content that is promoting the positive side of Web3. So you really do have to take your time and curate the right types of content and collaborations that push the space forward in a way that is open, honest, and transparent. And it's dope. Conversations like this, where we're just chatting and enjoying hearing about each other's experiences, is what really pushes that space forward. So this is great.
Yeah, I'm totally I agree totally with you about like education. As a brand like Black, we already have I would say a huge community from Web2, and since we have already made a drop like a year ago, we know we're gonna onboard a lot of newcomers to the space. So we plan to make a huge part of education in our Discord. So basically, we'll have an educational channel, another channel talking about the different scams, hacks possible, and things like that to educate. And for the next AMAs that we will host on our Discord, we'll have some people from different alphas that are specialized in I would say education, and they will come and just talk to the community. So they are safe while they mint. They know how to load their MetaMask and things like that. So that's something we will do before the mint, but also after, because I think it's our responsibility. I think it's the responsibility of every project that brings new people to the space. You have to educate and not just bring them and jump them there.
Yeah, and just to add on this, actually, we as well inside all our stores, we are going to be to be doing some kind of educational on that, to assist our customers. So we already have like a basis of customers that are interested into these NFTs, and that we kind of help them to really like jump into the space, to how does the MetaMask work, how does the security works, how to be safe when buying, how to and all of these aspects. And we want to promote as well this membership in stores as really like showing the secondary market, showing like what kind of NFT they can buy, etc. You know, and really like do some educational on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Education in this space is invaluable. And obviously like the scams is like the first thing, but yeah, like totally love that idea and that approach in, educating your community, really Web3, but really beyond that, right? So like I love what Bryson said too, is like the deeper part where, not just like dropping something, but pumping the brakes a little bit and thinking about your community, thinking about like how you can reach people on a deeper level and really like do things that matter in this space. And I think that's really important for the larger brands out there. And I've seen both kind of reactions to like larger brands getting into the space. We've seen, some good, some bad. And I think here in the NFT space specifically, the customer has like a lot, like the retail NFT traders or customers, if you will, like we have I feel like a little bit more power in this Web3 space. And I think it's important to,
A lot
uh,
more.
exactly. And but the benefit of that for larger brands is that you can connect with your audience, your community on such a deep level because it is Web3 and there's different unique things that you can do now. It's not just like in the physical where you buy a product and it's one off and you kind of have to repeat the process and the brand has to reach out to their community and audience. But here, if you connect with your audience and community in a deeper level, then you can go ahead and reward them with utilities and bring in unique things that were basic, I mean, not possible before. So I love where the Web3 space is going and where fashion is going too in this type of case here. So yeah, so speaking of that, like what is Bryson, let's get back to you, man. What is your favorite like brand so far in this space? And like like what's your favorite collab you've seen so far? I know with like BAYC, they partnered up with like Adidas and like what is your so far like favorite, or like you don't have to say like your top favorite ones, but what's one of the not cooler ones that you've seen?
Yeah, so some of the ones that I thought were really interesting. I wouldn't say I have a favorite yet because it's a bit too early. But I mean, I love the G Money times Adidas collab. I thought that was like really cool and well done. And there's a lot of stuff that they're going to be launching. I think in general, fashion's kind of like people don't take it as seriously. Like for example, the Artifact and Nike collab. They recently released a lot of their vials and different metaverse sneakers, and some of it was kind of people were a little bit annoyed by the fact that you know they got airdrop sneakers, but I'm like, dude, people fail to realize how important fashion is into the grander scheme of things. So those were two that I really enjoyed. I'm often like looking in the space and waiting to see what players jump in, and I like the collabs that aren't just solely like celebrity based. Like, of course, any celeb could come in and do a collab with any project, and boom, it's going to get some attention. But when the brands come in and they're collabing, like I saw Puma bought a cool cat. Like Puma also connected with Micah Johnson and the Aku Dreams and did some really interesting artwork for their PFP project. So there are like some really cool and interesting things that are happening across the space. But I think there's going to be still a little bit of a gap in bringing new people in, and it might take a while. But there are innovative brands out there, including Black, that are going to be at the forefront of getting people in. And it's a thing of it always starts with the clothing in the story, like whether it's accessories, pieces, however you want to call it, like provided that you have that and you provide a really cool story with it, then it's great. But then I've also seen some collabs, and contrary to popular opinion, like people might like say that it's cool. But for example, I didn't really think the last Bored Ape Yacht Club merch drop was significant at all. I thought it was like, to be honest, bang average. And I said it openly. I was like, you have opportunities to really educate people, bring them in, like curate it, take more time with it, bring in the right designers, even if you just got to bring them in on a contractual basis, so you can drop something that really does shape what the future of Web3 looks like from a merch or fashion perspective. And at the end of the day, we have to look at this as bigger than just ourselves. So I think the collab space is going to be really dope, but it's going to be a continuous iterative process on previous collabs that were taking place before.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like it doesn't just stop at like, part brand collaborations or project collaborations, but at the individual level. And I feel like that's like what Web3 is kind of about, right? Is like that individual like appeal where it's like you can express yourself. So, I love what you said there. And Artifact too. I mean, that was something I've always been a huge fan of Nike growing up, and so that was very exciting for me, in the Adidas as well. Like just the fashion part of it, like I just love that. And so, yeah, like my first pair of actually metaverse sneakers, if you will, was from a buddy of mine. He actually is like a huge collector of shoes, and I ended up he's buying part of his collection, which is called Sneaker Punks. But that was my very first pair of shoes there, and I feel the same way. It's like sometimes people don't realize the significance of what's happening, or why would like some people why would you buy those shoes? Is like, well, these were my first pair of metaverse shoes, and this is like a buddy of mine that like he's a huge collector. He's actually like he owns a couple of bases, like so for me it was on that deeper level, and that's why I went ahead and bought those shoes that were not an exorbitant amount, but for, it was still like $300 USD, but in ETH, of course. But, your average person like that doesn't or isn't in blockchain may not understand that. So I still think there's a ways to go before we reach, mainstream proportions and mainstream level. But yeah, I feel like the fundamentals are there. And, I think the sooner like brands get that, I think the better the space will be for sure. Julian, what about you? Is there any? You can't choose Black Paris as your favorite, so is there
No,
certain ones you like the most?
so actually, for me, it's as well the Clonex artifact collection with Nike, with Takashi Murakami, with all these actors. You can see that they really carefully play their cards, when they enter into this. And as what was said, it's like really more about the culture, bringing the culture into the space, And as we saw now, the collaboration. So we've been talking with very big Web2 established brands, that making billions, and their take on this subject was always that it's too risky for them to introduce themselves with their own collection, their own utility, their own Web3, because the business is already like well organized, established with different level of management, and different. It's hard to get access to the first level to approve an NFT project like this. So we saw, for example, Lamborghini coming into the space by doing some collaboration with some 3D NFT artist, and a lot of brands, like very big brands established, like Adidas with the BAYC, and Nike now that bought Artifact 4 or 5 months ago, something like that. So yes, it's me. I really like the Artifact one because actually I really know a guy that worked there, the Samuel Cardillo, the CTO of the company. He's from we met in Belgium before, and then I was already following the brand before it gets actually very, very crazy, before the Nike buyout and before everything. So I kind of connect to the success story behind it, like this. That's what I enjoyed about how they did it, how they managed to bring those new players, those like celebrities and stuff like this into the space, and especially like how they provide the ecosystem behind it, and yes, I really like the collect aspect of it as well, the fact that it's something you use the crypto to kind of connect with those brands that, as you've been telling us, that you've been connecting when you were a kid, and that actually today you can like be part of this kind of history, have a take on that. So for me, collaboration, it's like it's one of the best way to enter into the space right now, to make something a bit like sexy, because at the end it's a lot of marketing, it's a lot of branding, it's a lot of the aesthetic. It's very important in the space, even though you have to provide something, you have to provide a good utility behind, you have to be there for your community, you have to to continue keep up with the marketing. It's very important to do some good collaboration, some good that provide like the brand, the vibe that you want to spread, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so what you said there about like brands entering the space kind of cautiously, yeah, I definitely seen that as well, you know, and apps like, you know, for instance, like Vivi, where they kind of indirectly drop their
Hmm.
IP on there. And even then, I believe there's like some pretty, you know, pretty unique fashion brands on there as well. I think Givenchy dropped on there and a few
Yeah.
others, but yeah, I see that, and that's very interesting to me, and what like the future is for the larger brands, and to see if they kind of re-engage like the creative side of reaching their audience and communities. So I think we're going to start seeing that play out more and more over time. And obviously with Black Paris, I've seen your, obviously if you check out your Instagram, you can see a lot of those works. One of my favorite, I'm a huge Batman fan, and I loved seeing the Batmobile. Like the Batmobile, like I'm a big nerd and geek when it comes to Batman, so that one was one of my favorites that I saw from your Instagram. So big shout out to you guys on that one. I thought you guys knocked it out of the park on that one.
Thank you so much. Actually, we were like discussing to do something with them, but it's only for physical. They as you know, they have like their exclusivity with Vivi. But yes, we did like a representation of the Batmobile. So you're talking about the one that we dropped, the animated one that comes from the floor, right? Because we did several.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that one was
and
pretty cool.
we did as well the Joker. I don't know if you saw this one.
No, no, I haven't seen the
Like
Joker,
this
but I would
one.
love to
Oh,
see it.
Joker
Yeah.
is
So we
nice.
posted like a photo of it as well. Like I think it was 2 years ago, and it got like downloaded more than 1 billion times. It was like a huge. I think the most viral photo that we posted online. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
the time when Batman went out. No, sorry, the
Mhm.
Joker went out with Joaquin, and it was like
Mhm.
viral, like everywhere online.
Yeah, the Joker is like one of the most popular villains of like all time,
Hmm.
and one of the most collectible like items really both in the physical world and in the digital world. So, you know, both are very like highly sought after in both digital and physical. And of course, that's why you see, you know, you obviously see the movies perform so well. So I definitely am interested in seeing that. I'll definitely have to
Yeah,
check that
it
out.
comes
And
definitely into the black vibe. The Batman Joker, it's something that, but we have to be careful because with this you don't get the right, you know. So you can do some visual aesthetic, but you will not see that in our NFTs that we will be selling.
Gotcha, gotcha. So last hot topic here. This was the last one, and kind of what we've been the you know the I guess we'll just get into it. So the Yuga like land mint, you know, the other
Uh,
side meta. I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on that. I want to say Bryson for last, but Julian, like, what was your thoughts on the Yuga land mint? Was it good? Was it bad? Do you like the land? Do you not like the land? Or do you like the codas? What's your thoughts about the whole thing?
So actually, not specifically. I will have to tell you, I was like not into it. It's my it's Steffi. It's my the one that's doing like ev- all the operations, you know, behind me that handle the this drop. So she gets two lands, and I have to tell you, I've been like very focused on this drop because I'm doing like the 10,000 avatars myself, and now I'm doing like the script to generate them. So maybe Thomas, what do you think on this one?
Yeah. So I was with Steffi where we were minting. So my cut on this is I won't blame them since I mean I've been working on project. I know sometimes like you don't make the best choice and it has like really bad consequences. But you know I still feel somehow that like as a really huge brand, one of the most I would say exposed in the space and in the world, they should have probably maybe pay more attention about like the technical part and maybe try to limit this gas war. I mean like right now we have seen many huge drops. We've seen Adidas. We've seen many huge drops that happened and that had no such big amount of fees and things like that. So I feel they could have do this better. About the design of the land, I mean, it has its own style, I would say. I like it, but I think we have to see it like when they develop it, because that will be the interesting part. I mean, right now it's just a picture, so it looks fun. Let's see how they develop it and they build it. But then, like the concept of the resources and everything on it, I would say for now it's pretty mystic. But even though I've seen the deck and everything, but it's mystic a bit. We don't know yet exactly how it will work. But I'm pretty excited about like the whole ecosystem that they're trying to develop. So I would say for now, a bit disappointing, but I'm expecting a lot from them.
And you got 0 resource, no?
I think I got 0 resource, but then like they didn't communicate it on the rarity of the lands. There is those points that are those dots that are just under the name of the land, and basically I had like 4 dots, which is I think pretty rare. But I just sold it floor, and then I was like, "Fuck, I think it's rare," so I bought it another one. So basically, I just bought in again like an hour later. So now I just hold and I will see. But I got one pretty rare resource, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah. My initial thoughts on the art side was I thought they were okay, they weren't bad, and I was like, okay, some of them looked really cool. And then I started seeing other people post those like green ones that had like nothing on it, literally. And
Yeah,
it kind
yeah,
of
That's the one.
it kind of made me giggle a little bit. It reminded
yeah,
me a little Pixelmon type of vibes, to be honest.
yeah. I
But
mean, some of them are
Bryson,
really, some of them are really nice, but some others, of course, are not like the best. And I mean, like it's a bit far from like I would say the bake universe. I feel it's a bit different. But I will see. I will wait and see like how they develop it.
right,
I just
right,
have
totally.
a quick question. Because I've been saying it on Twitter all the time. Maybe Bryson knows this, but I probably should have researched it a little more. But a lot of people have been posting the lands, and there's nothing. There are no resources extracted from it. So what? Yeah, maybe Bryson, you could fill me in. What is the land for besides just trading? So I was just personally curious about that.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know what it's for outside of trading right now. In the future, I'm expecting wholeheartedly for them to launch a game. So, this is, I think, Bored Ape's kind of introduction into the gaming space. I do think that, land at the forefront of everything is always going to have a considerable amount of expectations associated with it, especially when it's Bored Ape Yacht Club and they're considered literally the industry leader in the space. So yeah, the mint, in my opinion, it is like a crazy disappointment like other people did. I know there was a ton of ETH lost to, gas, burn, et cetera, et cetera. But eventually that ETH would have been burned anyway. But I think that the biggest thing is just understanding that the expectations associated with these land plots are going to be probably ridiculously absurd, especially when most of the people who own them are not from the NFT gaming space. So they don't really have a good sense of how these cycles regarding like land drops work. And it might be a year and a half before we actually, maybe even longer before we see a full fleshed out game from Bored Ape Yacht Club. And then we'll have to make the decision on whether or not, the game is good or not, or if the ecosystem is good. But my thought would be temper expectations because as we've seen with games that are launching land, for example, Axie Infinity, it's been 4 years since they launched initially, and they still haven't gotten land out. And it's not a knock on them, but this is a concept that is incredibly difficult and requires a lot of economics, tokenomics, and just overall thought process on how you do this in a sustainable way. I know NFT cycles for traditional NFTs where you're launching just a profile pic. There are tons of people who love these quick and very straightforward expedited cycles of understanding, okay, here's a piece of news this week, and then Bored Ape drops another piece next week, and then next week. So people are used to having these very short cycles of news to continue to increase prices and increase, like, you know, the overall perception of a project. But I'm interested to see what the community looks like and how they are receptive to the project maybe 6, 7, 8 months into the land building process. Are people going to take the time to understand that this is a long game and really stand behind Bored Ape Yacht Club, or are they going to get restless because their bags aren't pumping as quickly as they might like? But I personally am excited for land for Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think that if they launch a game, it's going to have to be an incredibly, incredibly good game, or else they will not exceed or even live up to the expectations based on these prices. But I am excited for what they're going to do for gaming because it's going to bring a ton of new eyes into the space. So I think overall, the drop in getting land out there will be considered a success. And I think we should all give them time to build before kind of creating this obscene expectation that they have to go out and create the next Call of Duty, Halo, MMO that's ridiculously great. It's going to take time, but I think that ultimately it's good for the space.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we shouldn't expect a World of Warcraft for sure, like in the next 6 months. But I totally agree with what you said and what Black Pear said as well. Is very disappointed in the initial mint, and I felt like they could have did a little bit more there. Definitely not representative of like the entire Web3 space. I think there's great blockchains or great layer twos out there, and I think as a matter of fact. Illuvium as they're gonna I believe we're selling on layer one and minting on layer two, so there's definitely like ways to make this better. But as far as the game goes too, I agree with you, Bryson. I think we should give them time, and I still think that long run this is a good thing for the space, and uh hopefully they'll get make sure that they have the game side figured out. But I think they will, and I think there's plenty of people in their toolbox, and I'm sure that they have their connections. So I'm excited to see what they do as well, and I still remain bullish in what they can accomplish, and just would hope that they would do better next time and maybe choose the layer two if ETH2 hasn't scaled up yet. But hey, we're not all perfect, and it is what it is at the end of the day, and people still, I still see people excited about the land. So um, that's all I got though for this Illuvitalks, and Bryson, Julian, and FOMO Boy, man. I appreciate you for joining in. I see Mystic down in the audience, man. You're gonna have to send me a DM. We got to get you up here. I was watching his video just the other day, as a matter of fact, about his Illuvium video, and I thought it was hilarious and awesome. So man, I would love to have you up sometime. Send me a DM, send me a friend request, and we'll get you up here. But Bryson, man, it was a pleasure having you up here. Julian, you as well. Bryson, I'm super excited about your future with Vayner Sports, and what you're gonna do, and how many people you're gonna literally, like, you've already inspired me, and you literally just signed. So like, man, like, I don't want to put too much pressure on you though, but I'm excited for you. And Julian, I'm excited for your drop as well, and what you guys are going to do in the space, and hit those deeper connections, and deeper, levels of the fashion and metaverse. So thank you so much for joining. Any last words, Julian and Bryson?
Yeah, yeah. So thank you so much for hosting us today, and thank you for this amazing MAA. And yes, we see you on Friday for those who are participating in the mint. So it's at 10 EM GMT, right, Thomas?
Yes, it's Friday.
Okay, Friday.
So thank you guys for hosting us. It was really great, interesting talk.
Yeah,
We'll have to do that
no
again.
doubt. And Bryson, where can
Yeah.
people find you in final words?
Yeah, definitely appreciate you guys having me on to talk and be a part of the discussion with Black. Illuvium, you guys have been doing great shit. Very excited for the game. Kyle, let's definitely sync up and connect on some content stuff offline. And I will also be on standby and excited for the Black drop on Friday. So you can connect with me right here on Twitter. Outside of that, make sure you check out the Loot Squad, and definitely check out Herm the Fourth, Herm IV in the chat. I wouldn't even be able to sit here and chat with you about the intersection of gaming and fashion and everything in between if it wasn't for his mentorship and helping me build outside of Web3. So excited to just continue building and thankful. So thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Well, that's all we got for Illuvitalks, and we also have special trivia in the Discord, so make sure you head over there after this. We have our community manager, Rich. He's hosting some trivia in the Discord and the voice channel, and you can participate in the Illuvium voice text channel as well, and that starts 5 p.m. Eastern time, so that's 2100 UTC. And that's about it. Make sure you register for our upcoming land sale as well, illuvium.io/land, where I think it'll be a little bit more optimized, no pun intended or anything like that. But yeah, check that out, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place, new special guest, and we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah, take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.